Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. Good evening, everybody. Please share as you come in. I do own the rights to this song. This is my own song, my own holiday song called Seasons. Good evening, Neva. I'm sorry, let me clean this off. All right, I'm sorry, I was doing a little cleaning. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I'm actually multitasking, so give me one moment here. It's so good to see you all. Please share as you come in. And this is my final night for the month of February, our second series in the month of February. This is my final night. So, hi Neva. I am trying to multitask here. Here we go. I'm putting some things up as we're going. All right, I set a little extra time. Okay, yeah. We're going to go on and get started. All right, so glad to see you all this evening. All right, I'm going to go on and start out with my website disclaimer, and then we'll go from there. Please share as you come in. Hi, Rashida, how are you? All right, please be aware that due to the nature of technology we're using, that there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself or any other pastoral leader, religious leader, or someone with life experience are subject to the limitations of current and available material. So the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you. Okay, and information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information changes frequently, and it is recommended that clients or yourself will consult other physicians, other specialists, other religious leaders to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. So, I'm so glad to see everyone that's coming in tonight. Please share as you come in. Tonight is our final session for this segment, and then the next time I start will be in it will be in February of 2019, and you all know that I do this on a monthly basis, so I have to do this the way I'm given to do it. Okay, so tonight hi Ebony, how are you? I have allotted a little more time for us because this is our final night, and we're going to be talking about, as married couples, we're going to be talking about sex and our intimacy between us as husbands and wives. And so if there's any minors on here, you all, I need you all to please come off of this site this evening, because this is for adults only. Alrighty then. So please share as you come in. Hi Tamika, how are you? I'm going to start out with our scripture. The scripture is Matthew chapter 19, 5 and 6, and I'm reading from the English Standard Version. And it says, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. And what therefore God has joined together, let no man put us or separate." Proverbs 18 and 22, the King James Version says, "Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord." Proverbs 31:10 through 31, which I'm not going to read all of it, which is the King James Version as well. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil, and she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Now, y'all know that I welcome you conversation, life experience. So y'all come on, y'all talk to me this evening. Because there's a wealth of knowledge that comes from life experience. I am a qualified counselor. My education is in psychology. I have experience in counseling, life coaching, and all of that. And so I say this, and I am a Christian-based counselor. So, and my vision and my mission and my goal is to make sure that my theme song normally is Heal the World, that we heal the world as we are healed ourselves. So, I always start out with a definition, and I'm going to run through this, and then we're going to move on with our topic, and y'all talk to me as you come in. So, a husband, the definition of a husband is a married man considered in relation to his spouse. The definition of a wife, and this is the Webster's Merriam Dictionary version, is a married woman considered in relation to her spouse. Now I'm going to give you the definition of sex. Sexual activity, including specifically sexual intercourse. All right. So I want to open up with talking about the 5 love languages of the 5 love languages. And this is for anybody, whether you're married or you're not married. So number 1 is words of affirmation. So using words to build up the other person. Thanks for taking the garbage out, honey. Not saying, or don't say this now. It's about time that you took the garbage out, honey. Don't say that. Because those words are negative, and so it kind of counteracts what you're trying to do. Good evening, Queen. So words of affirmation is number 1 when it comes to our 5 love languages. Number 2 is gifts. A gift says that, oh, they were thinking about me, or look what you got for me. So the second love language is a gift. The third love language is acts of service. So doing something for your spouse that you know that they would like cooking a meal, washing dishes, vacuuming floors, are all acts of service. And then you know what would really make you happy. So doing acts of service is the third love language. The fourth love language is quality time. So by which I mean giving your spouse your undivided attention. Not y'all going to dinner and y'all both on the phones like this. Because, you just rest with what you're basically saying is, oh, I just can't wait till this is over with. I just want to get this over with because this is not important to me. But giving your spouse your undivided attention, taking a walk together or sitting on the couch with the TV off, talking and listening to each other. That quality time is important. It's imperative. That is your fourth love language. Your fifth love language is physical touch. Physical touch is holding hands, hugging, kissing, sexual intercourse. All of these are expressions of love. Now, some people may say, oh, my husband or my wife is not really the lovey-dovey type. Like I said, there's something in here, whether you holding hands, hugging, kissing, or just touching, just a little touch. That physical touch, it really does. It says a lot, touching, rubbing their head or rubbing, behind their neck or just rubbing their arm, something that tells that, oh my gosh, they really do care about me. So again, and I'm moving quick because I have some things that I want us to talk about. And then I would love to bring someone in this evening and we talk and we converse about some life experience. So the 5 love languages are all, let me start with number 1. Words of affirmation. Number 2 are gifts. Number 3 are acts of service. Number 4 is quality time. And number 5 is physical touch. So out of these 5, Each of you have a primary love language. So out of this, there's something here that's something that's more important to you than the rest, which speaks more deeply to you than all others. But discovering each other's language, love is and speaking it regularly is the best way to keep your love alive in your marriage or in your soon to be marriage or something like that. So, good evening, everyone that's coming in this evening. Good evening, good evening. This is an adult, tonight is adult topic. So if there are any minors, I am going to ask you all to please do not participate in this tonight if you are a minor, if you're not an adult. But I'm doing this again because marriage is the devil. Those that believe in Christ or have a knowledge of Christ, we know that marriage seems like it's almost obsolete, or it's being kind of tainted with the openness of the open marriages and stuff like that. And so I'm doing what I'm led to do, to talk about and to teach on some specific things, how to bring purity through our relationship through Christ, how to bring purity back into our marriage and love, and not just adjusting or we're just partners and stuff like that. Having fun and loving each other and not being enemies with each other. That's that other dude's, that's his agenda. But Christ's agenda for us, with marriage and family has always been based on love and purity. Thank you, Neva. So this is why I do what I do. And I hope that this really touches and it helps heal somebody. Now, I'm going to move into what we can learn from the sexual response cycles. Now, there are cycles to this, to becoming close. Hello, Floria. How are you? And I'm going to talk about this very briefly because we have a short time frame, but we got to get a lot in at one time. And please feel free. I'm sorry. Please feel free to comment whenever you're ready. All right. So women and men can experience sexual response in a variety of ways. Parts of the model are linear. So arousal and stimulation occur prior. This is what they say. Arousal and stimulation occur prior to the experience of satisfaction. But other parts are circular and bidirectional. Example, sexual desire may come before or after arousal, and the two may feed into each other. So these are three main take-home. Hi, how are you, Christ-like? These are three main take-home messages that we can learn from these sexual cycles. I'm sorry, hold on. Number one, sexual pleasure and satisfaction aren't reliant on orgasms. Though orgasms may certainly be a nice bonus, but it's not reliant on it. Okay, now everything that I'm giving you all is researched. It is researched. Number two, sexual desire doesn't always have to come before sexual activity or arousal. Sometimes getting physical and experience arousal will elicit desire. Now, this is where I'm going to pause. There are things that happen with us in our lifetime, like sometimes illnesses, which kind of change your hormones or change how you are, and it's a side effect sometimes due to maybe a physical something that happened to you physically, or something that's just an illness, or a lot of women sometimes have to have like surgeries, hysterectomies, and different things like that. So it kind of alters some things, but it's not the end, and it's not over with everything. And I'm talking from experience. It's not the end, and it's not over. You just have to sometimes find different ways to spark your partner. Men also go through different things too, with being overstressed, with having health issues like high blood pressure, diabetes. And so a lot of times they may not be as responsive to us. You all know what I'm talking about. They may not be as responsive to us even in the midst of stuff due to this, or sometimes maybe some type of clinical issue, as far as mentally clinical issue like a depression or something, it may cause a man or a woman for them not to be as responsive when it comes time to intimacy. And there is so much help out there. It is not over. That does not mean your relationship is over. There's so much help out there. A lot of different help out there for men and women to help. Hey, how are you? You're an old school. Excuse me, sir, Mr. Banks. This is the counsel of the day, Shanrae. You can't say that word on here. Y'all please excuse my cousin, Minister Banks. All right. So, now we said that sexual desire doesn't always have to come before sexual activity. Now, guys, we know that tickling, and I'm trying to keep it PG, guys, but foreplay is still the bomb. Foreplay is still the bomb. And that always helps when it comes down to being intimate. And if I'm offending someone, please, then if this is not the platform for you this evening, that is not my goal. I'm not trying to offend anyone. But this is an adult lesson on tonight, adult course on tonight. So foreplay is always a great tool when it comes to being intimate, and even rediscovering, some things with your spouse to help bring enlightenment to your moment. Okay, so number 3 says external factors such as relationship dynamics, intimacy, and weighing rewards and costs of sexual experience may play an important role in sexual response. So try not to focus on what you think is normal. Good evening, Jennifer. Try not to focus on what you think is normal. If I'm not in the mood, then it's not normal. That's not true. Sometimes people can help you get in the mood. Your spouse can help you, and I don't mean people. Your spouse can help you get in the mood. And so don't ever think that there's just a normal way of this when it comes to your sexual cycles. There is not. Sometimes you have to you gotta need some help to get in the mood, but trust me, it's all good. In the end, it's all good. So shift that focus to you and your partner's sexual responses, and communicate your needs both inside and out of the bedroom. And it's okay for you and your spouse to talk about what you like and what you don't like. It's okay to do that. You have to communicate, guys. We're changing. We change. When we was younger, we used to think that we was doing something because we can do things. Good evening, Urana. We used to think that we was it because we can get it in 3, 4, 5 times a day. You getting it in 29, 30, 40 times a week. And now that we're a little bit older and more mature, and because of the changes of life and everything, if some people get it in 2, 3 times a week, that doesn't mean that you love your spouse any less. It just means that your life has changed, and it doesn't mean that it's not as great either. I know. I'm telling you from experience. The older you get, the better it gets. Can I see a hand wave going here? The older and the longer you've been with your partner, the better it gets, because you all have grown to learn each other, to know each other. And y'all know how to stimulate and make each other happy. So, I want to talk about this 7 ways to improve your married sex life. And I'm going to be skipping around here because there's a lot to say in here. Because sometimes the longer you're married, the bedroom is undefiled if you're married. You're absolutely right. There's only a couple of things that the Bible talks about that we should not do in marriage, and one that's adultery and infidelity in your marriage. And there's another thing, and it's a very touchy subject, and it is in the Bible, and y'all know what I'm talking about, and it starts with the letter S. Okay, and so and the Bible talks about that. Not me, the Bible. If you are a Christian believer, the Bible talks about that. And the Bible, if you do a research study on it, and it talks about why why he says it's an abomination to do that. And so I'm just going to leave that alone. But we're going to move back on to 7 ways to improve your married sex life. So I'm going to, let me skip down. We're going to skip down. All right. So number 1 is to talk a lot. And this is 7 ways to improve your married sex life. Even if your spouse is a quiet person. Because a lot of times opposites attract. I talk more than my husband. But we do talk a lot, though. We do talk a lot. So number 1 is to talk a lot. It says great sex starts with communication and connection, which it really does. In order to have both, you need to do a lot of talking and a lot of listening. Be honest and vulnerable about how you feel about your sexual relationships. Don't sit bitterly in quiet dissatisfaction. Tell your spouse your turn-offs and tell them about your turn-ons. Ask them what they like and what they think is missing. Your sex life will only be as good as your honesty and vulnerability with each other. So finally, talk during sex. Talk during, which I'd like to, let me move on. Verbal communication while having sex is just as important as the physical, which it is true. It is true. It's okay to talk while y'all two are being intimate together. Say what you like. Queen? No, man. Yes, you're to say what you like with your spouse, Queen. I misunderstood that. I thought you was telling me to say what I like. No, I can't do that. Okay. But it is very important to communicate even while you're being intimate with your spouse. Because that is your spouse. Got to know your purpose. Got to know your purpose. I might need you to explain that in detail, Randy. Got to know your purpose. But okay, I think I know what you're saying. All right. So number 2 says, send signals throughout the daytime. Ooh, I like these new emojis, guys. These emojis, they got some really good emojis, some that I only send to my husband. But I love emojis. I don't even have to say much of anything. I could just send 1 or 2 emojis to him throughout the day, and he know what that means. So send signals throughout the day. In other words, flirt with them. Flirt with your spouse throughout the day. Give them signals that you desire them consistently during the day. Think of it like getting foreplay started early. Okay? Okay, before leaving for work, wrap your arms around them and kiss them on their neck or wherever they like to be kissed. Let them know that they're desirable to you. Give a once over and tell them how lucky or how blessed that they are to have you are to have them, and vice versa. Okay, send them text messages to let them know how sexy they are. All right, call them in the afternoon and let them know that you've been thinking about them and perhaps what you've been thinking about. Even if it makes them laugh, that's a good thing. So it means that you're connecting. So if you want to have, a great intimate relationship or lifestyle with that night, you need to start early. You start as soon as you wake up and just flirt throughout the day. So that's number 2, sending signals throughout the day to your spouse. And I don't care what age we are. I love to see, and I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but whenever I go see my mom and my pop, Bishop, I love being around them because, they're older. They're not old now. They're not old, but they're older, right at 70. They're not old. But, they flirt so bad. Oh, they are so cute. I mean, they flirt. Jennifer said my husband does that every day. Ooh, all right, Jennifer. Yes, that's a good thing. But I love to be around my parents because they flirt. My mom be blowing kisses, and he always talking about his Claudine. and I said, ooh, that is a mess. But I love it. I love that they flirt throughout the whole day. So this is very important. Number three out of 7 ways to improve your married sex life. You're gonna get in trouble. I know, right? Number 3 says, touch them regularly. Touch them. This is similar to the last point. Touching them early and often warms them up. I'm trying to say, I'm just skipping down. So these little touches are physical. They're physical connection points that build trust and encourage vulnerability. It opens the door to a deeper level of physical affection and perhaps the willingness to explore more types. And this brings me to my next point, okay, which is number 4. Change things up. Change things up, guys. Many couples get into a rut because they're bored of doing the same thing. For some, it could be like playing the same song over and over again. So you'll never get out of a rut doing the same thing. So have a discussion about trying something new. And this comes back to the first point, that you have to be willing to be honest with one another about what you like to try. Now, those of us that's been married longer periods of time, things start to, it seems like it starts to become monotonous. So this is very important for us couples. Those of us married, that have been married, I've been married 25 years. We got to start doing things differently. I'm just going to tell you a little secret. Whenever we go away or whatever, one of the things that I like to do is to make sure that I have a new outfit, a new outfit, costume or something, and I'm making sure I'm snapping my pictures and stuff like that. So I can send to him. I can send to my husband. Send to him, whether it's before the vacation or after the vacation. But he just needs to know that I got this for him, and he is very, very happy all of the time with that. So that's just one thing that you can switch up. And I actually have an assignment that before we end, I have a 4-part assignment for you all to incorporate into your marriage. And I think that this is going to help spice some things up too. But even if your spouse is not, I'm a newlywed 1 year. Ooh, okay, congratulations, Jennifer. You should still be wow. You should be exhausted all the time. All the time, Jennifer. Because this is so new, But this is good. But I have a 4-part assignment. And even if your spouse doesn't want to participate, you can still do it yourself. One of you can still, and just initiate some things. So number 5 says to work out together. I like this. Work out together. Being healthy and in shape will make both of you feel better physically and make you feel more attractive. 40 music talk. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I like that, Queen. So on top of that, it will lift your spirits. So when you are both in a more positive mindset, it's a lot easier to feel passion. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. Get the blood moving by working out together and see what develops from there. Now, you don't have to go in there bench pressing stuff, but if y'all take a walk together, if y'all walking is real easy. Even if y'all decide that y'all going to walk through the mall or something, that's still some type of physical exercise. If you do choose to do some type of bodybuilding or something, that's awesome. But whatever the both of you two choose to do, that's fine. Bowling, that's still physical exercise, something like that. Number 6 says schedule it. Schedule it. We all want to be spontaneous, but in a world of family schedules and kids and jobs, and it's not unromantic to get it on the calendar. Okay. So sex can be like working out. So when we do it consistently, we want to do it more, which is true. So when we don't carve time out and commit, it could be easier to watch TV or worse. And that brings me to my final point here, which is stop watching porn. Okay. I can't tell y'all what to do, but this is researched here. Everything I'm giving you is researched. It's from the research, people, therapists and stuff. And it says to stop watching porn. Now we know as Christians why it's not healthy, because that is it really is a form of adultery. But to each their own. But this here is researched. Stop watching porn. There are some who argue that watching porn together can help a couple's sexual relationship. I disagree, and so does these researchers here. In most cases, it creates distrust at best, when trust and connection are the most important ingredients to great sex. How can you connect when you're looking at a screen rather than focusing on each other? So stop looking at porn and start looking at your spouse. And then we know that that's also, it's highly addictive. And I have heard a lot of different scenarios where one of the spouses, either the male or the female, feels like that their spouse is not attracted to them because they can't do everything that they're seeing being done on that, and that's unfair. That's unfair. So it's a distraction. It really is. But to each their own. To each their own. But it is a distraction. So we're gonna talk about how sex helps initiate relationships with your spouse. Does anyone have anything that they want to interject before I get started with this? Make your own movies. That's one of the things that we're going to talk about right here. You can do that, definitely. Yes. Make your own, definitely. Does anyone have anything else to say before I keep going with this? But I think that's very intriguing right there when you make your own. I am a plus size woman, as many people are. And so I've never had a problem with being flexible, but there sometimes weight can hinder you from being as flexible as you want to be. But don't let that stop you from enjoying your spouse, especially if someone has gained some weight at some point in their life. Y'all always remember, whatever weight you gain, you can lose that same weight. So it's not a prison sentence. You can still be sexy. You can still look sexy. You can still enjoy your spouse intimately, whether you are a certain size or not. I know society likes to depict that every man and every woman the man have to have a 6-pack and they have to, have all these other demographics in order for you to enjoy each other. But that's a lie. That's a lie. And it also depicts, whenever you see what they depict as sexy, is this little size 0 and all of this. But no. I remember going to a bridal shower. A bridal shower. And it was the young lady she was heavy set. She was heavy set, and she had some insecurities going on. She had some insecurities going on, and I noticed that. And so they went around the room. They wanted those that were married to give a bit of advice. And you could see that she was slightly insecure. And so I stood up, and I felt led to tell her. I said, you need to start shopping here. This is a good place for you to start shopping for your lingerie. I said, any and every, they have costumes, they have this, it's affordable, and I said, and it's fun. I said, I told her, don't allow your size to hinder you, because size has nothing to do with sexy. I'm plus size, and I'm sexy. And I told her that I am plus size and I'm sexy. I said size has nothing to do with anything. I said it's just a state of mind. I said, so enjoy your new life, enjoy your husband, and I said, and go out, and I said, and just go on out and get some things, and I said, and make sure you enjoy your new life. So I'm here to tell you, as a plus size woman, your weight means nothing. Your weight means sexy is sexy. Sexy is sexy. They have beautiful, beautiful things. If you don't have the money to go do some stuff, get creative, guys. Get creative and take a towel or a sheet and make it a bow tie. You can get creative and just use your imagination. But whatever you do, just be happy and love yourself, because the more you love you, the more you can love your spouse, and you can love other people. Now we're gonna move on to how sex helps initiate relationships with your husband or your wife. And it says how sex sets the stage for deepening the emotional connection between a husband and a wife. I'm going to read down, and then and this is all research study that I'm talking about. This is all researched. And then you all can take your paper and pen out, because I'm going to give you 4 different assignments to do. And I will see y'all in February. These assignments, and trust me, everything that I'm giving out to you all, I'm doing myself. Okay? So, sexual desire evolved to serve as a powerful motivational force that brings husbands and wives together, and thereby helps to facilitate sexual intercourse and pregnancy or whatever. So sexual acts may be devoid of affectional bonding. I mean, we've heard of a lot of one night stands and as they say, booty calls or whatever like that. But that's not what happens with us. This is about bonding with us. And yet sexual desire may play a major role not only in attraction, but also in encouraging the formation of an attachment between you and your spouse. So research has recently in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships have provided support that's supporting that sexual intercourse between a spouse, husband and wife, encourages the formation of attachments. Okay, so there are 4 different studies that was done to demonstrate that sexual desire elicits behaviors that facilitate emotional bonding during your face-to-face encounters with your husband or wife. So number 1, this is the first thing, the first experiment, the first assignment that I'm going to give. Number 1 said that they examined whether desire for the spouse would be associated with the enactment of nonverbal immediacy behaviors, okay, that indicate contact readiness. Now, this is it, starting with number 1. It's called synchronization. Close physical proximity, being close to each other, but doing this. Y'all gonna lip sync, or you lip sync a performance, like an attractive performance. Lip sync to your spouse, miming it out, and record it, and then send it to them. Now, you're going to do this to somebody else's song. You don't have to sing it, but like you're going to lip sync something and, to a song that you two love. So lip sync it and then record it on your phone and send it to your partner. That's assignment number 1. That's assignment number 1. And so this rated as a desire. Put this in desire for the spouse. It helped with them desiring their spouse more. Okay, with this one thing, with this one, non-touching, right? Jennifer said, good idea, exactly. So they found out that the desire for their spouses with doing this was associated with coded immediacy behaviors toward their spouses. Okay, as well with the synchronization. So again, number 1, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to synchronize. You're going to lip sync to a song, a song that maybe you two like, or one that and you're going to videotape yourself and send it to your spouse. That's assignment number 1. You're going to start piquing that interest. You're going to start getting stuff stirred up. That's the first thing to do. All right. Any questions, anything like that before I move to number 2? It's called synchronization. That was number 1, where you lip sync to a song. You lip sync and gesture or whatever to a song. Videotape yourself on your phone. It don't have to be the whole song, and send it to your partner. Send it to your spouse. All right. Number 2 is it's almost like number 1. But this time you're going to involve your spouse. And if your spouse don't want to do it, then you do it yourself. Because again, Again, this is, this is about bringing intimacy back into the relationship. Now, you're going to slow dance. Slow dance. Rather than sing, you're going to slow dance to a song. Okay? And this is more relevant. You could do it with your partner if they want to participate, or you do it to yourself. Do it by yourself, and you're going to videotape it and send it to your partner. Okay? And this is for the purpose, the slow dancing, either with your spouse or by yourself, rated their sexual desire for their spouses, rated a higher sexual desire for their spouses than the lip syncing. Okay, and so the results show that the spouses predicted a greater interest in their, this is for the marriages that may be experiencing some kind of slowdown or some kind of, staleness in there. So you can, if your husband don't want to do it, or your wife don't want to do it, you can do it yourself. Slow dance to something and video, and then send that video to them. All right. Anyone has anything to say? All right. So now, these other two things, 3 and 4, were designed to establish a connection, more of a connection, of the sexual system and of non-sexual behaviors, okay, responsibly to your spouse. Number 3, the third thing to do, and this is called subliminally exposed to sexual stimuli. So what you're going to do is you're going to play hard to get. I know it's hard, guys, but you're going to play hard to get. So set up a date. Set up a dinner date, a lunch date, breakfast. Set up a date, movie night. Set up a date with your spouse. So are all of these babies gonna be named after the professor? I think so. Definitely saving this video and share it. Okay. Yes, Queen. Connection is important. I think we need to. Yes. Okay. So number 3, a homework assignment number 3 is you're going to set up a date with your spouse. Okay. But what you're going to do is, while you're getting prepared. Okay. Now this is very adult here, guys. So what you're going to do, ladies, and if there are any gentlemen that's on here that's listening, you can do the same thing. What you're going to do is you're going to, where we at? Number three. Oh, you're going to start asking, what color do you think I should wear today, honey? You're going to play hard to get. What color? Maybe we should, ask about the colors, the style of clothing that you want to wear. And while you're doing all of this, you playing hard to get now. You're going to walk around nude, naked. Walk around nude, but no touching. No touching. You got to play hard to get. So you start stirring up conversation. Start stirring up the conversation, but you're walking around nude. Now, this is here in the research. They said stop. Ladies, if you're the ladies, you stop and act like you dropped something. Drop it, bend down, and pick it up. In the nude. Keep playing hard to get. And keep going and go start getting dressed. Nothing yet. No contact yet. That's assignment number 3. Because the goal here is to build up momentum. Now, it also says that this is a very good time, ladies or gentlemen, if there's something that you've been wanting your spouse to do on a positive note, like maybe help you with something around the house, they said this is a good time to ask for that right about then. Honey, can you fix something? Can you build me something? That's a good time to interject and ask for something, guys. It may seem a little manipulative, but it's not. If it's something that's been needed around the house or something that you've been wanting him to do or her to do, that's a good time to do it. Now, this works with men as well. For the men, if you're on here and it's something, you want to build momentum in that part of your life, what was suggested here, and it was research and it actually works, is for you to, just act like you getting ready for them date and sit down And pose. Sit down in a relaxed chair and pose. Just pose. Just sit there and chill. But no touching. No touching. Remember, number 3, the goal is playing hard to get. Play hard to get. So number 4 and the final one. The fourth and the final one says that I hope we what you said, Jennifer. That's too cute. So the fourth and final one says, I'm sorry, I did it too soon. Could you please help me? The fourth and final one is, could you please help me? So discard what I just said about asking them then. Oh, but you know what? You could still build up that way. With number 1, after when you walking around in the nude, that was number 3, but playing hard to get. The fourth assignment is lay it on them. Y'all know what I mean. When you come back, it's best to do 3 and 4 together and within the same day. When you come back from your date or whatever, lay it on them. Lay it on them. Y'all have a Holy Ghost, hallelujah, smiling, oh God, good time. And you know what I mean by that, oh God. Oh God, yes God. It's a good time. Have a good time. Lay it on them. That's the fourth assignment after 1, 2, and 3. And it says, after the fact, when you really nice and lovey and huggy and touchy and feely, that's when you say, could you please help me with this, hun? And it says, these are research findings. It says that the findings indicated that the husband and wives were quicker to help, as well as invested more time and effort in providing help to you, the spouse, okay, than in any other scenario. So overall, this research demonstrates with these 4 different assignments that an unconscious sexual stimuli can elicit verbal and non-verbal behaviors that not only convey contact readiness, but also expresses caring about a partner, your spouse's well-being. So, and it helps set the stage for deepening the emotional connection between you two. And it supports long-term bonding. So I wanted to interject this because I have been guilty of this. I've been married 25 years. My husband and I have been together for almost 28 years. I used to so-called punish my husband when I was upset with him about something and say, no, you can't touch me. Now, according to whatever the offense was, now if the offense is going to cause harm to you and to your physical health, then I wouldn't tell you to put yourself in harm's way. But if it was just a tiff that y'all are having, a tiff or something like that, please don't do that. Don't not. Like we grew up hearing, don't go to let the sun go down on your wrath. Don't go to bed angry. Don't close your eyes angry with each other. Even when you are disagreeing, that soul tie together, when I say it helps mend, it does help mend the broken hearts and the wounded. With you two having that bond together and coming together and making love and being with each other, even when y'all are not agreeing on specific things, it does help bring y'all closer together. It is not the answer, but it does help keep that bond between you two. And if you are, and I'm going to keep talking about that triangle, God, him, and you, if God is the center of your life, then God will take care, even the misunderstandings, even the disagreements, even all of that. I mean, when we are a gift to one another. And making love, don't cheat yourself. Give it to him even harder. It had to be a family member to say that, right? Yeah. Yes, she's right. Don't cheat yourself. Give it to him even harder. And I'm telling you, when it seems like when there is a disagreement that happens between you and your spouse, when you two come together and y'all make love, that's like the best remedy. It's like that is some of the best stuff that you could have ever had in that conflict in time. So, don't do that. don't cheat yourself. Don't do that, unless it is a life-threatening situation. Now, I won't ever encourage anybody to put themselves in harm's way, because there are some things that can, no, don't put yourself in harm's way. But if it's a slight tiff or a slight misunderstanding, this is a gift that God gave us as married couples. This is a gift, making love. And what I teach people is that is our form of worship. No, we don't put ourselves, we're not gods or anything like that. But that is something that God gave us specifically, that only a husband and wife should know about each other, being with each other like this. And that's it. Nobody else. Oh, that's my time. That's my time. Hold on. And I'm going to finish this statement and we're going to end this. But I know that this was a little X-rated tonight, but this is imperative, because marriages are in danger. And a lot of people, they're just giving up. They'll just walk away. It's not worth it or whatever. And what we have to understand is that you have two people that are coming together as one. And a lot of times the foundations that we came up, our childhood foundations, our primary foundations have not been the greatest. And so when you come together, you have to, you're learning, even being a husband and wife, you're learning that if you come from a strong dysfunctional foundation, you are in the process of retraining yourself, learning how to function in a stable mannerism. And a lot of times it's a fight. It's hard. The person is fighting because they don't understand why you don't understand why this is not right. And so all of this is taking precedence over the love that we have with each other. And so we know in Christ that all things are possible, and we can overcome any obstacle as long as everyone does their part, because one person can't do everything. You cannot make somebody be a better person if they choose not to be. And I'm going to reiterate this. Like I said the other night, you were not called to be a martyr in your marriage. If the person if they refuse to get better, if they refuse to be that spouse that they're supposed to be, if they refuse to be that role in their life, because men have their roles in the family, just like women have their roles in the family. But what each man and woman, the role that we both have together is that we have to be responsible, we have to be accountable, and we have to be loving. That's something that all of us, both men and women, have to do. And if there's one that refused to do it and they refuse to change, then you're not called to be a martyr in a marriage. You're just not called to be a martyr in the marriage. We're to love each other. We're not enemies against each other. We're not brought together to fight against each other. We're not put together to hate each other. But we're put together to love each other, to reflect that to each other, and so our children would know the importance of the love of a husband and a wife. So, with that being said, until February, guys, I will see you all then. I will be posting my new topics for the month of February. And as my song says, because I do own the rights to this song, as my song, it is a new season, guys. It's a new good night. Thank you. It's a new season, guys. It's a new season for us. It's a new season. So I want to play this a little bit. The song says, this is the season to be free, to laugh, to sing, to dance with glee. This is my song. I can play this. All right, it says a holiday season. I say a new beginning season for y'all. The laughter in the air brings us together anytime and anywhere. So this is your new season, guys. Hi, Sherry. All right, now. God bless you all. And until February, I'll see y'all then. God bless you. Bye-bye.